Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. So it's that time of year again. It is time for speculation and discussion. WarThunder.com just put out another Developer Diaries, this time centered around patch 1.39, and I think the biggest thing about it, the biggest talking point, is jets. Specifically, German and Japanese jets. Now the debate goes on, should the Germans specifically, but Japanese as well, get some paper model aircraft, blueprint aircraft, right? Stuff that was planned but never really built. And even those that maybe have had rough prototypes but not a formalized, proper prototype. Should those planes go into the game, or should we have, some other stuff? And we'll get into that, but I want to show you off some screenshots, and then I'll have some gameplay in the background while I discuss patch 1.39 as proposed in this developer diary, which the link is in the description. So if you don't want to watch some awesome gameplay and hear me talk and speculate and do my thing, you can always read it for yourself. But right now we're looking at what is the MiG-15 BIS, which was used by the Eastern Germans. It's pretty sleek, and that's a kind of cool roundel, even though it's not round. A little emblem right there of the GDR, which was the Soviet-backed German faction. Here we have the North American F-82 Twin Mustang. I think this is probably, it's arguably the most unique aircraft that will be in the game. What do you guys think is the most unique aircraft in the game right now? I don't know, maybe TB3 for me, but it's just kind of nostalgia, kind of fun. And now we have the F-86 F-30 Sabre, which the Japanese used. And here we are looking at another Spitfire. This time it's the Spitfire F Mark 22. And then we have the Spitfire F Mark 24. Pretty sleek looking there, especially given that camo pattern. Brits, you guys know and love your Spitfires. You're going to get more of those. And then finally we have the Lavochkin 15, which is a pretty sleek looking jet. So the Soviets get even more jets. So now we'll start the gameplay. You've seen some of the screenshots. They're also in the link, given in the video description. But I just want to talk a little bit about the debate, right? Because I have, arguably a unique point of view on the whole topic, and it's kind of going to be fun, but this is kind of my approach to most things. But the debate is, should the Germans get the Me-262, HG-2, HG-3? Should they get the Hortenho 229? Should the Japanese get the Oka, the Japanese Me-262, export, arguably an export? What should they get? Or should they get what's proposed right now, which is, hey, after World War II is over, Germany was split into two, the Soviets had a side, the Western Europeans and the Americans had their side that they supported, right? So on one side of Germany you got the MiG-15 BIS, on the other side you have the Canadian CL-13A Sabre Mark V, which is, these are models that are specifically referenced in these developer diaries. And then the Japanese having the F-86 F-30 because they were supported by the United States after World War II. So these guys now are getting, basically, it's almost like right now, aside from Britain, four nations basically have, there's Germany and the USA and Germany and Russia, and then Japan and the USA kind of have the same highest tier jets, right? So it's like, is there much difference? Although they do say in the developer diaries that they are going to increase more higher tiered attackers and bombers to kind of make it interesting. So instead of just having all Sabres versus all Sabres or all MiGs versus all MiGs, there will be a couple of MiGs that are on the same level on two different nations going up at each other. And then they will also have, attackers and bombers and stuff like that, which I'm looking forward to because I'm a big fan of attack aircraft. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe it's just the mindset associated with being an attacker. I like it. It works for me. It's fun. Ground and air. Why not? Why not be a fighter bomber when you can have both, right? And that's my viewpoint on this, in a way. I would like to see both implemented in the game, and this could be implemented in the future. I think what they're doing right now is good because getting into paper paper airplanes, paper planes, paper jets, blueprint planes and jets. You basically kind of have to be like, well, this is what it said it could do on paper, even though, you know, we have a good history of aircraft development when things are written down on paper and then they're built and they're completely, or, you know, subtly different, anywhere within the range of subtly different to completely different. So basically Gaijin would have to say, hey, we have to basically make this aircraft and we get to pick the statistics for it, you know. And then there could be a lot of backlash, potential backlash. There could also be a lot of potential, hey, this is freaking awesome, right? So I think the paper and blueprint, you know, Horton Ho 229, the ME262 HG3, which everyone's talking about how it was faster than the Sabre and all of that good stuff. I think those should be implemented and could be implemented in the future, because Gaijin has publicly stated that there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of vehicles put into this game, and even more and more and more aircraft put into this game. And if we're going to see the North American F-82 twin Mustang put into this game, you know, why not see a Horton Ho 229 or something like that in the future, right? And granted, the twin Mustang was built, but it's a novelty aircraft, I think. You know, the TB3 is a novelty aircraft. Yeah, it was built, but how many people are flying that right now? It's more of a collector's piece, right? But like the Horton Ho 229 tanks, you know, there's going to be prototype and paper tanks, I think. That would be cool to see in the future. This is just me. So basically what it boils down to is, why not both? What they're doing right now, I think, is pretty good. Putting in the MiG-15 BIS and the Canadian Sabre for the Germans, and having the Sabre F-30 for the Japanese, I think that's a good idea. It helps with matchmaking. And it's kind of cool because if you think about it, not necessarily on an individual aircraft level, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, the highest tier of German jets could essentially fight the Russians or fight the Americans, or fly with the Russians or fly with the Americans. So for matchmaking purposes, it could theoretically, I think, you know, make matchmaking go even quicker, you know, which is one of the issues that people have. But putting in these jets will make matchmaking quicker. But then doing that, you know, having Germany be able to kind of fit a few different holes would work as well. So I'm going to let you guys discuss. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. It's a really hotly debated item, so let me know what you think. Are you in favor of historical accuracy in that the Germans got the Sabres and the MiGs, the Japanese got the Sabres? Are you a fan of, you know, putting in the HG3 262 for the Germans, kind of like putting in paper? Or are you going to be a proponent of basically what I'm supporting and what I believe in? But I'm fine with either, really, if it comes down to it. But ideally, are you a fan of both, right? Because, I mean, we all hope this game's going to last for years and years and years. So why won't we see these things in the future? But they go into discussion on a little, you know, from their viewpoint in the Developer's Diaries. I highly encourage you to check them out. It's a good read. It's pretty fun to see where the game's going and the thought that's going in behind it. But let's go over. I'm going to list some of the aircraft that they are going to put in or are planned to go into the patch 1.39 update, which you can see in the Developer Diaries. The Spitfire F Mark 24, Spitfire Mark 22, Spitfire Mark 18, Spitfire Mark 14, Mosquito Mark 18, Lavochkin 174, Lavochkin 15, Focke-Wulf 190A1. There's two I-16s, a Type 24 and a Type 27. The Lockheed F-80 Shooting Star, F-80A. We have the F-80C. The North American F-82 Twin Mustang. What a crazy plane. You know, it's unique. There's nothing like it in the game right now. The Republic F-84 Thunderjet. Hell yeah, I'm excited for that one. MiG-15 BIS for the Germans. The Canadian Sabre, which is the Canadian CL-13A Sabre Mark V for the Germans as well. Although I'm wondering if they're going to split Germans into kind of, you have to, depending what jet, you could fly with the Soviets or you could fly with the Americans. Because, I mean, in the 1950s, it's not World War II, it's Cold War. It's mostly, you know, Western powers versus Soviets, right? So you have that for the Luftwaffe. You have what it says is Me-262 modifications. Now, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that the HG-2? Is that the HG-2 and HG-3? Who knows? The F-86, F-30 for the Japanese. And then there's the Kai 43-1. So it's pretty cool. Now, there's a few other things that they're going into for this, for patch 1.39, and that they're planning. And as they said, a lot of the stuff's planned. Whether we'll make it into it or not, they're not really sure. But user-created content, tools for creating user camouflages, full mission editor, and ability to play user-made missions. I'm really excited for that. I think that increases replayability. When you're done grinding for the day and you just kind of want to go in and relax and play a mission, someone could come up with some really crazy and fun stuff that you and your friends could do. There's a lot of other things that they're going to add in terms of user-created content, some changes to squadrons, and then there's 2 game features that they want to put in. The first is Schräge music, and I don't even think I pronounced that right, but basically those guns sticking on the top of planes. There's a Japanese one, and then one of the Dornier 217s, I believe, at least on the dev server months and months ago, had it at one point. But they're those guns that stick up at a diagonal angle on the top of an aircraft. So basically you fly under a bomber and shoot at it from a very safe position. Pretty cool. And they have videos. You gotta check it out. They have videos of this in action, as well as the ability to control the different calibers of guns separately. So in some of the planes that have 3 different calibers of guns, you could fire any one of those individually, or 2 of those in concert, or all 3 of those, as we've seen already, in concert. So it's pretty cool. If you have a couple different, you know, if you're like the Germans and you have 2 different types of 20mm cannons on your plane with different ammunition capacities, you know, different muzzle velocities, you can fine-tune your play style to the point where you make sure that that works within basically the distance you're at and what target you're going after. You can load different ammo belts. The possibilities of fine-tuning your play as a result of that feature alone are pretty endless. There's a question about the CVT. Everyone asks me. You guys ask me all the time. Baron, when is tanks going into open beta? I don't know, you know. And Gaijin saying that a lot of people who have been testing, I myself am also in a belief that it could go into open beta right now. There are some flaws, but it has so much promise, and it's pretty dang fun. So I think it could go into open beta. You know, put in a couple more maps and boom, you're ready. But they're saying they're not really sure yet. So there's nothing finite on that. There's some flight model changes and all that. Anyway, this is a patch 1.39 preview. Let me know your thoughts on what you guys think about the jet situation. It's hotly debated. I want to know what you guys think. And next, this is the fun question. I always love asking this kind of thing. What plane are you looking forward to the most? I'd have to go with the Twin Mustang or maybe the German Saber. Anyway, my name is Baron. I thank you for watching. Make sure to pull the trigger on that like button if you're as excited for patch 1.39 as I am. And ladies and gentlemen, I am signing out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. So today I was fortunate enough to stop by Fly Daily's Twitch stream. If you haven't checked it out, you got to. It's fun. We have a blast. And we were doing some custom games, and we were doing some on the map Berlin where you have to there's only one capture point. So it's pretty awesome, especially when you add some fun and goofy custom rules to it. It's just a fun way to step back and enjoy oneself with friends, fans, and Fly Daily. So let's check it out. So that would be
Dude,
really
where's
bad.
my team at? There's only like 4 of us. Can you guys get the damn battle?
There's a B-25
Bomber
up in here.
chaos. All right,
All right.
It's happening.
bring it on.